Hello everyone, my name's Debbie. I'm Mama Bear Stitchery here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, and this is my little channel all about cross stitch. Today is a special episode where I'm going to show you my WIP Parade or works in progress that I'm going to be working on actively in 2025. This isn't all my cross stitch projects, but it's the ones that I'm going to make a concerted effort to work on and finish in 2025. And I have about 40 projects to show you today. So a quick little recap about me in case you're new and finding my channel. Like I said, my name's Debbie. I'm originally from Edinburgh in Scotland, but for the last 10 years we've lived in Northern California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. And by we, I mean my husband Piotr, who works in tech. I have two daughters as well, Maya and Elena. They're 13 and 11 and both in middle school, so that's why the house is quiet right now. And I'm a stay-at-home mum now, so I have plenty of time for stitching while they're at school. But before that, I was a zookeeper, specifically carnivores, and my degree from university is actually in zoo animal biology and zoo animal care and management. So I think that's kind of reflected in a lot of the projects that you'll see today, in that I like things that have animals in it and bright colour as well. I realised looking through all my projects, I really like things that are brightly coloured. So with that, I think we'll just jump straight in because we have a lot of projects to get through. So I've divided it into non-full coverage and full coverage, and we will start with the non-full coverage first. So up first, and for all of these, I'll insert a picture, a cover image to the side so you can see what the finished item is going to look like. And like I said, I hope to finish a whole bunch of these this year. Last year I had 24 finishes in 2024, and I hope to beat that in 2025. So first project, and this one I'm hoping is going to be my next January finish because it's my focus on a finish project, and it is Rendale Designs The Acrobat. And here is where he is. So he will be a finish pretty soon. I'm hoping this weekend. All I have to do is fill in this chunk of his body and then do all the kind of erratic backstitch that makes him look fluffy. And this one is on like an unnamed or a scrap piece from Silk Weaver. It's just a very, very slightly blue mottled fabric. It's nice to stitch on though. And this design you can find in the World of Cross Stitching magazine. It was a calendar. They sort of release a calendar every year. I think there's been 2 Rendale ones and a Beatrix Potter one, and this was in the first Rendale calendar. He's super cute and he will be finished. I do love the Rendale designs. Oh, let me put him in the wash basket to the side so you don't think I'm just dropping these on the floor after I show you them. The next one also is on my Year of WIPs, and Year of WIPs is a group by Melanie Watkins, the Soulful Stitcher, on Facebook. She has a Flosstube too, and every year it's a kind of, not competition, but like a challenge to post a bunch of WIPs. I think this year is a minimum of 8 or 10, and the idea is you finish at least half of them like in the year. So this project's on my Year of WIPs and it's definitely one that's high on my list to finish. And it is Stained Glass Sampler by Carolyn Manning. Ooh. And I have some good progress on this one already. I think I only have 5 pages left maybe on this one. And the bottom row is just partial pages. So yeah, this one again highlights the super bright colours that I love, and they really pop. This is 16 count Midnight Grey Ada. I'm not sure, maybe it's just a witch out. It's not got like the orange line for Zweigart, but I just got it from 123 Stitch, and this is in the call for DMCs. So love that one. Another thing that I love to stitch is kits, cross stitch kits. I love the fact that they have everything included like in the pack. I especially love older kits that maybe not a lot of people like stitch on. So this is definitely one of those. It is Heavy Going Grizzly by Jan Lynn. and that is where he is sitting at. So this one has been in a little bit of a timeout. I have to undo this back stitch here. I lost the back stitch key page for a while. It was stuck in with another project, but I found it not that long ago and realized I'd used the wrong color for the back stitch, so I need to pull that out and put the right one in. This one's a little bit fiddly to stitch, like he's just a whole bunch of like brown confetti, but I feel like I've got like a good like scaffold off the page, but you can see the outline of this page. And it's only 4 pages total, so once I get this page done, the bottom of the pattern isn't that bad. So definitely will be finished this year. And I switched the fabric out from the kit for this one for a 32 count even weave. Because it was a really old kit, the Ada looked slightly discoloured, so I just popped it on an even weave. But I am using all the kit floss. This next project has been in timeout for like a long time, and actually that was the purpose of the projects that I picked for this year, given that I said it wasn't all my WIPs. I kind of had to look through and I picked a bunch of things that haven't been touched for like a while and would love to see like progress on, almost to give like a refresh to like what I was working on. And this is one of those, and it is Patchwork Family Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. And that is all I have. And it's complete opposite from some of the other stuff that I stitch where it's super bright colours. This one's very soft and tonal. And this one is, because I do have notes, is on 40 count stone washed linen from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's DMC 3865. So just a tiny start on this one, but I love how soft this one looks. And blue's my favourite colour. Another bear, this is an RTO kit, and this one is called Bear and Raspberries. And again, this is another one that there's not much there, but I swapped out the fabric, and it is now a 36 count Petals in the Wind by Seraphim. So you can just kind of see that it's going to be the bear's face. This is the nose here and the eyes. And I think this one I'm going to work on by like color completing and just work across like the page break on the paper pattern. But I think I would love to see this one work up like color by color until it was done. This kit I've actually been working on in January. It's one of the kits that I'm focusing on, and it is Holding Hands. It is another old Sunset kit. And that is where I currently am. I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, and as I watch Grey's Anatomy, I'm stitching on this one. This one I am using the kit Ada, which I think is just a 14 count cream, along with the kit floss. And this one's like a bit bigger than I thought it was, because essentially this whole background around the center is full coverage. It just is very soft, and it uses like maybe 1 strand and then 2 strands and then half stitches. But there's actually quite a lot of stitching in this one, but this one's fun to work on, especially now that I'm working on a little bit in the people and then like a bit of the background, so it's not just all background left for last. But it'll be pretty when it's stitched up. This is the first of 2 long dog samplers that I'm going to show you. This is Anzac. I have a little floss because I am actively working on this one in January too. And that's where I currently am. It is at 13.27%, and I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count opal linen in the colour Miami Sunset by Dye Stitch Love, who's no longer dyeing. But yeah, I love how small this one's going to be like when it's finished. This one I'm working on in January, and that I'm going to take it up to 20%. But yeah, love that one, 1/1. I was completely inspired by somebody in the Long Dog Sampler group who had completed this over one. I think a lot of the long dogs are like kind of awkward sizes in that they'll maybe need just a fat half of fabric, or there'll be like an awkward shape where you have to go up to the next size or fabric cut. So doing it over one means I can probably do so many more long dogs, and then framing's not going to cost like $1 bazillion when I actually finish them. Another kit. This is Red Mermaid. This is a pretty common kit. It's by RTO. A lot of people are actually stitching this one I see on Flosstube. This one hasn't been out for years out of the WIP pile, so this is where I am. And this is on the kit fabric, which I think is a 14 count Navy Ada. She's going to be so pretty when she's done. It's the only one that I didn't really love the fabric. Even though it's obviously Zweigart with the orange band in it, it marks very easily from like the Q-snap. It leaves like lines, so I have to remember to put felt in next time I put it on the Q-snap, or like a needle minder, like the magnet has actually left like a little mark, but luckily my stitching will cover it. But yep, hopefully can fit this one in and finish this one this year too. It does really stand out against the dark fabric, but knowing about that fabric now, if I was to buy the kit now, I'd probably swap the fabric out. This is my other long dog sampler, and it is Gone to Pieces. And this one I've completely changed out the colors from the cover image. This is my start. So I'm just working on that first jigsaw piece, and it is on a 32 count, just white Lugana. And you can see I've been optimistic. I didn't realize I put 2025 in here, so now I'm challenging myself to actually finish this one this year. It stitches up pretty fast. Like once you get the jigsaw pieces in and like the animals around the edge, it is just a case of just colouring in, so it's good travel stitching. And the colours that I'm using are this pile of DMCs. So some teals and golds, and this first block is this pale blue colour. And my main outline colour is 3799. But yeah, that'll be pretty. Another kit. This is Luca S's Landscape with Poppies. So having two blonde-haired daughters, this piece really spoke to me. I love wildflowers, and yeah, love the image of the meadow with the two little girls in it. So here's where I am. I think I started the middle of the top page, or somewhere here. I started on this side, which I think is like the middle of the chart, and I'm working my way up to the top left corner, and then I'll work around like in a circle. But this one is beautiful. It's a kit fabric, which I think is just white 16 count, but it stitches up beautifully. So can't wait to see like more of that and get into some of those flowers once I tackle that big tree in the corner. The next one hasn't been worked on in a while. This is Happy Bat by Alessandra Adelaide. Again, back to the bright colours. So I started in the middle there. And the colours really pop because this is a 28 count black Monaco. So that's that one. Okay, the next one was actually a 40th birthday start. I turned 40 in December. And so this was one of two starts. I think they had 2 or 3 starts. This is Dino Garden by Una Buena Pieza on Etsy. And that is my tiny start of some little pterodactyls. I'm stitching this in DMC 2/2, and this is an unnamed 32 count Lugana from Be Stitch Me, but I'm pretty sure it's very close to the colour Scotsman. I have multiple pieces of that, and it looks pretty similar to all of those, but I can't wait to get back to this one because it's super colourful and bright, and I love dinosaurs. you can see my sweater, which kind of looks like the dinosaur from, it just reminds me of the dinosaur from Rugrats. So that one I'm hoping to finish before my next birthday. Back to some animals, and this is Koalas by Country Threads. This one's actually charted in Anchor threads, and I bought all of those. And I've just about almost finished this first koala. I'm not going to stitch they have some like background wispy bits that are like blue coloured that I'm not going to do because I put on this coloured fabric, which is 32 count Lugana Earth by Bee Stitch Me. And I think these ones appear, I'm doing WIP Go again, well, trying it again this year, and on my task board I have, each time it's called is like add a koala. So this one will be finished by the end of the year. But yep, first one. This next one's barely started, but I aim to have it finished before World Cross Stitch Day. And this is Mason Jar Lineup by Dimensions. I think it goes this way. I put one length of thread in it on World Cross Stitch Day and didn't pick it back up. But it is super pretty, and I've had it in my stash for ages. I did switch the fabric out to 32 count even weave, but I am using all the kit floss. So yeah, this one will be finished by World Cross Stitch Day, which I think is in like August or something like that. Okay, ooh, we're on to the second page of notes. This next one is called, I'm not sure what it's called, but I call it Red Riding Hood. It is by Isabelle Vautier cross stitch. I bought the physical copy from a shop on Etsy, but if you look up Isabelle Vautier cross stitch, you should be able to find the shop it's the only shop that I know that sells them. She currently looks a bit like E.T. right now, with little googly eyes, but I love how whimsy this is. It is on a 36 count Nicholas Flamel fabric. They kind of dye these kind of solo fabrics in these bright colours. I don't buy them that often because they're a bit spendy coming from Europe. But they're like look at the colour of that. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to this one. Maybe make her look a bit less like E.T. But that one's just DMC 2/2. Oh, and here is the cover image of that one. So yeah, this was the physical copy from the shop. So I'm not actually sure, maybe if you understand French. But it's super cute. I love her stripy little socks. This next one, again, hasn't been out in years, and it is Witch on a Pig. It's Lena Lawson Needle Arts. I've completed a couple of her cross stitch pieces. They're always super fun to stitch, but yeah, this one hasn't been out in a long time. And this is on a 40 count Morning Mist by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and it's 1/2. So like, can you see the detail in the witch's face just with the shading? So yeah, tiny amount that will hopefully see lots of progress this year. Next one is Unicorn Tapestry by Tiny Modernist. This is my starting point for this year. This is just DMC. It's 2/2, and the fabric is 32 count Blue Azure by Zweigart. The blue just makes that orange in the unicorn's manes just absolutely pop. So this one won't be a super colourful finish. Next is a modern folk embroidery again. It is Here Be Dragons, and I've done page 1 of 4. I think I might be working on this one in February. I want to do it like complete like the other top page. This one's stitched on 4 to count Ceres by Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's DMC 823, and it's stitched 1/2. And this one I have in markup, and it picks up the background symbols, but it thinks I'm at like 65%. But yeah, I will be putting in another page on that one probably in February. That one's definitely calling to me now. Okay, another ink circles. This one is Big Red Ship of Life. Only my ship's not red. It's definitely big, but just not red. I have a big blue ship. This one is on 25 count Navy Lugana 1/1, and it's DMC 3845. So I finished page 1 and I'm just working my way into page 2. But yeah, that'll be super colourful. Again, I love blue. It's probably mostly what I gravitate to when I'm doing like things like samplers, is can I make it blue? This one I definitely want to finish this year. I finished Elena's Christmas stocking already, as like the stitching on it, but not assembled it. But this is the one that Maya picked, and it's Christmas in the Woods by Stony Creek. And so I've just got that bit there. I'm going to work down into the toe and do all the animals there before going back up to the top and putting the name in and doing all those trees. This one is on a 32 count Mushroom Lugana by Zweigart. And it's just all the call for DMC in the pattern. This is a failed stitch along. It's Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow. And this one's huge, so you can see the cover image and then I'll show you the whole thing. This one is on a 32 count Lugana Under the Sea by Hand Dyes by Jim, who's also Silk Weaver, or also known as Silk Weaver. And I think I have 5 parts left to go on this. I recently put in the rays and the giant kelp on the side. So yeah, I think I have 5 pieces or 5 sections left to do on this one, and then it'll be done. I think this is my favourite stitch along that I've ever seen anybody like release, and I actually can't wait to see what Lola Crow's one is for this year. I keep telling myself no more stitch alongs, you never keep up with them, but it's Lola Crow. You just know it's going to be good. So that's that one. Speaking of failed stitch alongs, this is Arctic Animals by Frost Pumpkin Stitchery. There isn't a completed image of it yet because it's still ongoing. I think yesterday was just the polar bear was released, but I'm behind. Oh, that's back. So I'm up to the puffins. This one is on 28 count Opal Linen Uplifting Currents by Under the Sea Fabrics. I picked this one because it looks like the Northern Lights. You can see the sort of bands of colour. I think it's one of the painted fabrics, and it's beautiful, and this is only half the piece, so I have the other half to use for something else. But I left out the brightly coloured blocks that have the name and text for each of the animals. I just really want the animals. But that's that. And that was 2/2 in DMC. This next one's barely started. It is In the Shadows by Dimensions Gold Petites, the kits. I put 1 length of floss into this one, which is on 18 count Black Ada, and decided this is too hard to deal with right now, so I'll come back to it. And I never did. I just put it in project bag, and it's like lived there for a year. I actually think this was a World Cross Stitch Day 2 years ago start, so this one was definitely a fail, but it's not that big. You can see it's super tiny. It's only in this tiny little nerd tube. It's just the 18 count Black Ada that makes it difficult. So I just need to get back to this one. This one I worked on in January. It is Cirque de Carreau by Ink Circles. and I almost added in the second page down the bottom there. My goal was to add like an entire skein of floss, and that's where I ran out, so I just put it away. It is on 32 count Lugana Sand Dollar by Be Stitch Me, and it's in DMC 4515. And I think the pattern's only 6 pages total, so the pages stitch up pretty quick, so this should be a finish this year. I like a lot of them in that series and would love to stitch each one in a different DMC, like over-dyed floss. This next one currently isn't a WIP technically. It was a WIP, but in preparing for this WIP Parade, I'll just show you. It's Rabbit's Journey by Soda Stitch. I had second thoughts about the fabric that I was using. It was just way too busy. I'd only just started sort of this bunny and got like her outline done. So I think I'm going to restart this one. I have finished 2 of the other sort of animal stacks by Soda Stitch, the sewing cats and the bears with the little cakes. And I do have the little Christmas bears in stash, but one animal stack at a time. So yeah, I would love to restart this one. And I dug through my stash today and picked out Gaia by Be Stitch Me. It's mostly blue with some green and purple like undertones, but I think the little white bunnies will stand out on that one. So that one will be a restart soon. It feels very like springtime, like the bunnies and the flowers, so I mean, it might be a perfect start soon. And the last non-full coverage WIP that I have to show you is my oldest project by far. It's the only thing that's about a decade old. Everything else is within the last couple of years. But this one I started when Maya was a baby, so it's almost 14 years old at this point. And it is an Anchor Premier collection. It's called Bird Table. When I pulled this one out, I hadn't even highlighted the chart. I don't know how I was stitching it because I can't without like marking off my stitches now. So I spent a lot of time marking up the chart with a highlighter to where my current progress is, and I think this one just needs to be done. It's like 14 years old at this point, so yeah, it's on the 16 count Kit Ada, which is very soft. I don't know if that's because it's so old, but I think it'll be fine to work on. And this one just needs to get some progress. So, and it's my oldest by far. So that's all my non-full coverage. I'm going to move this basket out of the way and grab the big pile of full coverage WIPs. So I have 13 full coverage WIPs that I plan to work on in 2025. We're going to start with the one that's my focus full coverage, and that's Quick Stitch Keep Up by Heaven and Earth Designs, and artwork is by Hannah Disney. This one is my page a month project. That's usually what I give my focus one. And so you can see this is my January page down here, which I've made a good start on already. And that will just leave me 1 page left for February. And then it will be done. But being a quick stitch, it is probably the smallest Haid or Heaven and Earth design that you will get. It's a crop off a much bigger chart. And it is on 25 count 1/1 full cross. I just love the bright colours on this one. And the mum and the baby turtle. So I've saved this page here for last because it's got the mummy turtle's eye. But this one's such a fun one to work on. And I can't believe next month it'll be done. And that one's at 75.37%. These ones I have percentages for because I have them in markup RXP. The next one is Artemis by Carolyn Manning, and this project I would love to see finished this year, and so I've broken it up into 12 parts, where if I do around, I think it's 1,410 stitches a month, I can have it finished by the end of the year. These Shooting Star collection patterns are a lot bigger than you think, and I think I was like super enthusiastic in this first bit, and then it's kind of like, oh, I have to stitch that again like 4 times around, and I just lost steam on this one. So breaking it up to finish it by the end of the year is not that bad. So I haven't started January's section yet, but it's currently at 24.04%, and I'm stitching it 2/2 on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana by Zweigart. I love these colors on this, and I have so many other Carolyn Manning shooting stars in my collection, but I don't want to just have a whole bunch of them started. I love Barb Stitch Brat on Flosstube and on Instagram. She is like the Carolyn Manning queen, and I want to start them all like her, but I can't, one at a time. The next one is a strong contender for what will be my next focus full coverage, in that where I do like a page a month until it's done, and it is Minnie She Sleeps with Butterflies by Margaret Morales, Heaven Earth Designs, charted by them, and I only have the first page done. Is that right? Yeah, that's only one page. It's 25 count 1/1 full cross. It does have 15 pages left, so I'd finish, if I make this my focus piece after the turtles, it will be finished somewhere around like mid-2026. It's currently at 9.42%. And this one's a strong contender for being my focus piece because Elena wants this one really bad. Maya doesn't really care for my cross stitch, but Elena does, and she would love to have this one in her room, so it's kind of like guilting me into like making this one my focus piece. But I do love stitching on it. It's just a lot of dark colors that don't really look like much until you finish the page. But Margaret Morales is one of my favorite artists on Heaven Earth Designs, so speaking of Heaven Earth Designs, I'm just going to say Hade now because it's much easier and shorter. I joined the 2025 Stitch Along for this year. It's my first time doing the Hade Stitch Along, and I picked Mother's Love, the flamingos, and this is where I am. I'm not feeling super called to work on this one. I told myself I'm going to do 300 stitches a day and keep up with it, and already I feel like I'm on the struggle bus with it. It's at 6.77% off the release that we have so far. We've got the first 4 pages. You get 4 pages every 3 months, and I'm at 6.77% off current release. I just need to pick it up. This first page is like quite blocky and color wise, so I know I can make some progress pretty fast. And I got the matching needle minder from Hade for this one, but I think because it feels like homework, I don't really want to work on it as much as everything else, so but I need to get back to it. My goal for this one for the year is to definitely try and complete the 6 full pages in order to get all the other charts that are in the stitch along. I don't think I'm going to finish the whole thing like within the year, but I've made 6 pages my goal. This next one is an Artsy chart. They're one of my favorite full coverage designers or stores to like shop from. I love their selection of animal charts. This one is Barn Owl on a Post. The artwork is by Hilary Mays. I'm stitching this 25 count 1/1 full cross. I have the first couple of pages done. It's actually at 5.98%. I did pick the large version of this chart. It comes in like a regular size and a large version, and I thought the detail in the large was just that little bit better and worth the many thousands of more stitches. The one you can see here is actually an Artsy chart too. This one here, the 3 little bears, it's called Berry Tree. That was an Artsy chart. And this one's a custom crafts. It's called Black Bear Country. I feel like that's what I'm actually missing from my like WIPs currently, is another full coverage bear. I might have to change that. I do have one with polar bears in it, but it's a lot of white, and that's what's given me hesitation to like start that one, but I definitely need to go on the lookout for a new bear full coverage. This next one is another Heaven Earth design. It is Mini Galaxy Girl by Molly Harrison, the artwork, and I'm currently sitting at 7.81%. And this one's actually 28 count fabric, the Easy Grid. And I'm doing this 2/1 tent stitch. That's how long ago this one has been in the WIP pile. My new preferred method is 25 count 1/1 full cross, but back in the day when I was just starting full coverage, I just tried a bunch of different counts and fabrics. But that's where I am. And this one's actually a restart. I was about halfway along on the first row, but I was doing the full size version, and then I saw somebody completed the mini version and it was worth like restarting to make it a much smaller size. So this is where I'm back up to. I think one more page and I would be where I was when I was doing it on full coverage. And even then I was doing it on ungridded fabric, which I don't love anymore. So it was definitely worth the restart. But the colours on this one are so pretty. Like this is another one where it just looks like a whole bunch of nothing until you finish the page, and then you see like there's actually like stars in there, and there's like these little sort of fairy light things, and yeah. This next one is The Amazing Animal Kingdom. I just call it Animal Bookshelf, but it's actually The Amazing Animal Kingdom by Heaven Earth Designs, artwork Amy Stewart. This again was another restart. I started this one on Ada and it was the width of like a king bed. So I restarted this one on 28 count Easy Grid 2/1 tent stitch. And I've just got the first page done. Before I did the restart, I think I was all the way to like the butt of the elephant. So one more page and I think I'm back up to where I was. But I lost this one for ages. It had fallen like down the back of where the project bags are, like down like behind the shelving. So I actually just recently found this one. So it just made it into the WIP list for 2025. This one will be so pretty when it's done, but it's so much work, but I just need to dedicate time to it. Another owl head. This is actually a Gecko Rouge kit. It is Fables. The artwork is Medusa Dollmaker. She's no longer with Gecko Rouge. But here's where I am. This one is at 13.13%. It is 25 count 1/1 full cross, and it's like the kit floss. Gecko Rouge only do kits. You can't just buy the chart and kit up yourself. This one is going to be beautiful. The pale colours around the edge, this kind of wonky border, aren't the most fun to stitch, and the fact that it's all blue, you would think I would love it, but it is a bit tedious. I think I haven't picked this one back up because I don't like working back on myself. I prefer working from top left over to the right, and this one, now to complete the top row I have to work back on myself, but it seems silly. But I would love to finish this entire top row at least in 2025. This next one was a long forgotten one too. It is Day of the Dead by Maria Dimova. The shop was Addict to Cross Stitch. I couldn't find it on Etsy anymore, so I don't know if it was maybe a Russian shop from way back in the day. But here's where I am. Those colours are so bright. This one is 28 count 2/1 tent stitch, and it's at 8.83%. So, yep. A lot of these full coverage, like, I don't have specific goals on. My idea is just to work on them at some point during the year. The ones that isn't my focus on a finished full coverage where I do like a page a month or whatever, I have it as like a backup. So when I pull it out, I will finish the entire page on a full coverage before I put it away again. So hopefully some of them will see like maybe a row finish or even get a page or two here or there. This next one was not long ago start. I think I started this one in October or November. It's Joyriding by Maggie Vanderwall and charted by Unconventional X Stitch. And I just have the first page done. Lots of dark confetti blues in this page. It's 25 count 1/1 full cross, and it is at 2.46%. I said when I started this one, I love the artwork on this one. I love Maggie Vanderwaal's like art, but the cats flying on the broomstick remind me of books I read when I was a kid in the UK, the Jill Murphy Worst Witch books. And in book one, like the cats and the witches have to do like learn how to like fly on the broom, and like Mildred's cat's like absolutely useless, and she has a tabby, and there's one like on this broom. It just makes me think of that. So I like as well that the unconventional X stitch pages aren't like huge. They're not like thousands and thousands of stitches like Heaven and Earth Designs pages. They're nice manageable chunks. This next one is also contender to be focused on a finished piece. This would be my choice to focus on a finish, and it is Snippet of Loki by Charting Creations. This is a retired chart now. Yeah, this is what I would pick, but I kind of feel like I can get to this one when I get to it. Maybe just do Elena's one. But here is Loki. I think this one has about 12 pages left. It's at 27.5%, and it's 2/110 stitch on Easy Grid. Well, I think it must be a little bit more than 27.5%, because I was using a paper chart for this one, and I've since put it into like markup, but I haven't put these little excess stitches in yet. So it's about 27%. But that's him. This next one's currently one that I'm working on, which is why it's hardly got anything on it. This was a 40th birthday start. Again, I said my favourite artist on Heaven and Earth Designs is Margaret Morales, and this is Kakomu. It's a massive chart, and I'm only at 0.31%, but I only did just start it. But once I finish my turtle page and get a couple of thousand stitches on the flamingos, this is what I'm going to focus on and finish out that first page. And it's 25 count 1/1 full cross. And this is the first full coverage where it calls for cry neck, which actually occurs like in the first page. So I'll be interested to see like how that looks. I might have swapped it out, or I have an alternative petite treasure braid in case the cry neck feels like too thick on the 25 count, but we'll see how that goes when I get to it. My last full coverage that I have in this pile is the only one, apart from my new birth start, the Kakomu one, that I didn't ever complete the first page, and it's Hobzelwyn by Cirello Cabral. He's retired from Heaven and Earth Designs now. It's the only one, yeah, that I put away before I finished this first page. So maybe this one needs to be the backup full coverage once I finish Kakomu, just so that everything has at least a page done. This one's 25 count 1/1 full cross. And the Cirello Cabral, the artist, is retired from Heaven and Earth Designs, but they are on unconventional X stitch now. So I can't wait to see which more of that artwork is like charted. That one I grabbed like when it was notified that he was going to be retired. That big dragon just called to me. I'm in my fourth wing era, even though I haven't finished the second book yet, which I need to get a move on because the new one comes out soon. There's 3 more projects that I have left to show you, and these are actually going to be new starts in January, we're in January, but in this next week or so. I have a WIP go board where it has tasks for my current WIPs, where I've put specific goals when they're called to work on. I also have a second WIP go board that is for new starts, and I've just put a bunch of themes in, like sampler, long dog sampler, animal themed, Halloween, Christmas, to give myself like a choice when it's like called to pick something. So in January, my 2 new starts are actually going to be, this one doesn't have a good cover image, but this little duck box topper, which is super cute. And this is by the designer behind Gera, Kyoko, that name there. It's the designer behind Gera, who I absolutely love. You can get their designs on something poppy. can't think of it. If you look for Gera cross stitch, it'll come up, but you can get them as PDFs. And I'm going to put this on 32 count blue azure, those little ducks. And the book I got from Amazon. The other one that I'm going to pick, and it's completely new to me, is it's a cross stitch tapestry kit by Emily Peacock. She has a store on Etsy, and it's Felicity the Lobster. I have the shrimp as well already, and I've told myself no more buying more of them until I finish one of them. But this is on huge cross stitch fabric. I think it's like 11 count, massive hold fabric, and you can make it as a wall tapestry or like a cushion I've seen them put into, and it's with yarn. So the idea behind this is try something completely new for this month's WIP Go Call. And my final start that I'm going to have this month is because January is my 5th year doing Flosstube, which is kind of crazy. I started in 2020, and so I thought I'd have a new start to celebrate that. And I picked Tiger of the Jungle by Luca S. It kind of encompasses everything that I love. Animal, full coverage, cross stitch kit. It has it all. So that is what I'm going to start this month too. And I just checked inside this, because it's one of the newer Luca S kits, they actually have a QR code inside where you can download the PDF of the chart, and I'm hoping it just goes straight into markup, no problems, but I'll let you know in my regular Flosstube at the end of the month how that goes. But I absolutely love this. The colours, stunning. It comes with this kind of gridded fabric as well that washes out, and I can't wait to work on him. So that's all my projects. I hope you've enjoyed seeing them. If you'd like to see me make progress on them throughout the year, hit that like and subscribe button and follow along, and I make end of month videos. So until then, either you can follow me on Instagram too, because I post there pretty regularly. Just look for Mama Bear Stitchery, the little blue bear logo, and I will see you end of the month. Until then, bye.